Hello, welcome to the show. Larry Richardson, A.K.A. LaLa the poet, a published poet, and he was also featured on Lisa Tomey's podcast, Prolific Pulse podcast. That that's a lot. I Prolific Pulse Poetry podcast. That's my sobriety test. I failed.
Mm.
And that's an alliteration. That's quite a lot of P's. Anyway, Lala, thank you for being here. Welcome. I'm excited to see you in real time.
Well,
You've been on Messenger sending me poetry, and I gotta say, I've never in my life received so much poetry. How you write every day? You're an everyday writer, aren't you?
yes, poetry. Well, thank you, Heather, for having me on your show. Finally, it's a blessing, and thank you, God, for this opportunity. So, yes, poetry is always written poetry, or was always had some type of talent when I was young. So a lot of people that know me when I was growing up could tell that I had that talent. But like I said, poetry is a part of me. So even when I don't want to write, it's the next poem is being formulated, or poetry is being formulated. So I'm blessed to be able to write without any filters.
Well, you can't turn it off. You were born a poet. And like anyone else, you were just, this is who I am. So whether you're trying to write or not, these words are formulating for you.
I know.
I guess it's a blessing and a curse. Sometimes I'm sure you wake up in the middle of the night with a poem in your head.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes, yes. It's you can't turn it off, and that's something that I realize that when you find your calling, you don't find your calling finds you. Whether you want to accept it or you can run away from it, is always going to be a part of you. And whether you use it and build a slate of work, or you not use it and build a slate of emptiness, either way your calling is going to say, hey, I was here. And so I look forward to it, to see what can be taken regular vocabulary, and nothing big, no big words and all that. Just trying to find, with the same vocabulary, different ways to say the same thing over and over again, but finding different ways with a different twist here and there. So
And
basically,
that's what poetry is, though, using your words in such a precise way that you paint a picture. It's like painting with words. Yes.
yes, yes.
Yeah. This is something you will not escape. This is your
I
calling.
can't escape it, even if I wanted. I tried to by trying to find instant gratification through outside means. I mean, let me say through the world, and
Mm.
and we're supposed to enjoy our blessings, but sometimes when if you're not focused, you could fall into pits and traps, and wait, and you is getting involved with that everlasting or ever turning treadmill, and you be like, I can't get off, and then before you know it, your life is done. So I was out there, but I thank God that I could use that experience. The past has a springboard to the future,
Mm.
and express it through poetry.
Yeah, you kind of allow yourself to be the vessel for the self-expression that and the experiences that you've acquired in your lifetime.
Yes, yes, yes,
And this is art.
yes, yes. And everybody has their own interpretation of art. No one looks at a picture the same. Like the Mona Lisa, you could have different. I mean, we could see it one way, and somebody else could see it another way. But that's through your third eye, not through the physical eye. To
Right.
see the meaning, what the artist was trying to capture. A
Mm.
simple woman with a simple smile, which is beauty in itself.
Mm. I think I'm so glad that you said that because I think sometimes people are intimidated by art. They don't understand it. They think they are supposed to get this grand thing that's elusive and that's more sophisticated than they can conjure. But just like you said, I think people fall into the trap of art is very literal. I see a woman with a smile. And yes, you may. Someone else will look at that and they'll see contempt
Yeah.
or boredom or reflection or anything, but we're all like art, I guess, like beauty is in
Yes.
the eye of the beholder, correct?
And yes, and like anything that's on this earth that's made celestially or universally or divinely is beautiful. And
Mm.
so, we just, gotta find the beauty of our vessel and our destiny within ourselves, and let that, and we define the beauty. That the beauty doesn't define us. So that's the good thing about humanity. We could define our own beauty, but we're all beautiful in our own way. So
Wait, stop. We define beauty. Beauty does not define us. I think
yes.
that really needed to be said. Thank you for that.
Yes. Yeah, you define beauty. If you did beauty define you, we don't fall short. We're imperfect. So, when you look at something beautiful, you don't see the imperfections, but everything has imperfections, but
Mm.
yet it's beautiful in its own right. So, I look at the beauty of the imperfection and not perfection because we're not perfect.
Well, I think sometimes beauty is found in the imperfection because
Yes,
sometimes there is such a thing as being too perfect. It's almost unappetizing, but I think imperfection brings intrigue and
yes,
yeah, and imagination.
and it's always you could take something imperfect and keep revolving it and keep
Mm.
something that's perfect. You can't touch it anymore.
Okay,
Something that,
wait. I need to digest that for a second. That's really awesome. Sometimes you see imperfection and you realize that there is evolution to be had with that. Whereas
yes,
you see perfection, it's like it's done, it's past its
done.
prime.
It's done. You can't do nothing more.
Oh, that's
You
a
can't.
really beautiful way
You
of
can't do
looking at
nothing more with perfection.
you can't do anything
Imperfection,
more.
we're imperfect, so we're always looking for ways to evolve. We are meant to evolve. We are meant every day to try to be better
Mm,
than the picture that you presented yesterday,
mm.
or an
That's really
hour
good.
ago, or 2 hours ago. So you're always evolving, whether you know it or not. Somebody else sees that into your beauty, and okay. So we
Mm,
always revolving, whether we like it or not. We always. That's just the way God made us to always evolve, to revolve, because we're not perfect. But
mm,
one thing that makes us perfect is that we have free will. And free will means that we have a choice to either communicate with the creator of beauty or walk
mm.
away from it. And that's the thing that separates us from and other species.
Yeah, our consciousness.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now when you combine the conscious and the unconscious together, bam! There's nothing. There's nothing that the imperfection of you can accomplish to make it perfect. So technically, we are imperfect, but the things that we create are perfect.
Well, I think perfection too is almost a matter of opinion. I think I heard once art was knowing which mistakes to keep. Or-
Okay,
I
that
mean,
that
I don't know because also someone might view something as imperfect, but I guess it's a one man's trash is another's treasure. It's all
yeah,
perception, right?
yeah, percent how people perceive and how you perceive is not, it's not technically trash. It's because nothing, anything that's in this universe doesn't go to waste.
Yeah.
Everything is used. Everything is recycled. Everything is renewed. So nothing that you see in front of you, around you,
Hmm.
is go to waste. Everything is used in a masterpiece of life. If you look at life, everything in the big scheme of picture,
Hmm.
everything it matters in that life, that scheme of picture.
Agreed.
So
I
you,
yeah. I like to think of it as a tapestry, right? We're
yeah,
all a
yeah, yeah,
tapestry
yeah.
working in concert with each other and the things
Okay,
around us.
yeah, that's what you said. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah. I think that's beautiful. I apologize. I just had like the most thunderous motorcycle known to man drive by my apartment.
Don't worry, we have the. I live in Lancaster, and this is the
Lancaster, where? Pennsylvania?
Lancaster, Pennsylvania, and they
Oh,
they have their motorcycles out, and it's so loud, but they don't be going nowhere. So
uh,
I stick with a car.
those Amish and their motorcycles, man. I tell you. No kidding.
No, the Amish have their buggies. They have a lot of We have a lot of population of Spanish and Mexicans. So yeah, and I live in a mainly Spanish neighborhood. So they got the music loud. They got, well, right now it's quiet time, but during the daytime, you know, eh, eh,
Well, as
you
long as you are not distracted, I'm not distracted.
I'm not distracted because the noise of life, everything has a heartbeat. So even that distraction or that noise of a motorcycle is what man created. So in its own little way, it has is perfect for the in the scheme of life of his life here on earth.
Everything has a heartbeat. I think that's beautiful.
Yeah, everything has a heartbeat, and,
Right.
and everything. So you know, even animated things have a heartbeat. But they don't have no spirit. But a chair, if somebody use it enough, you can feel the spirit of the person that use it transform into a chair. Now, if your father had a favorite chair, even though he wasn't sitting in there, you could feel his presence in there. You know what I mean?
Mm. Well,
So
and then, that's also very, yeah, no, literally and figuratively. Like, I think the color red obviously doesn't have a
yeah,
heartbeat,
that's
but
my
wait, but
color.
it has its own, it's vivacious. Like, it has its own heartbeat in a sense.
Yes, that's my
Yeah.
favorite color, red. So
Oh, is
uh,
it? Oh.
I I yes, I like red is my favorite color. So yeah,
Hmm.
it represents so much, literally. So that's why it's in the rainbow. So you know,
Yeah.
and so it represents life, and of course, blood is the color red. So what
Oh, that's good. I like that.
what runs through our veins is red.
Hmm.
And so it has more symbolic meaning than just color red.
This is true. It makes perfect sense. Would you mind gracing us with one of your poems tonight?
Okay. Um, this
Before we
first
begin,
book,
yeah, tell me the title and a little bit about it, and I'll mute myself before you begin.
okay, this is greater, and it talks about, for me and for people in general, we don't really understand how precious and how powerful and how beautiful we are
Mm,
because we get caught up in every day the instant gratification of the world, which brings, you see how that's working. So I wrote greater because we when God made us, we're equal to the things of we're more beautiful than a pearl and ruby and all those things, and and we're worth more than that. But we always place ourselves at a value less than, and the poem greater is either equal to or greater than anything on this earth.
All right, I'm going to pause and I'll let you take it away.
Okay, greater. Out of my mother's womb, I was born and layered in the blackness that I was adorned. Out of all God's magnificent creations, I was made from his divine image, graceful and beautiful according to his specifications. I was the first of many to come and would multiply like grains of sands or all parts of the earth under the bright sun. I was duly crowned with his vast wisdom, knowledge, and understanding in all things, both unknown and known mysteries. My kingdoms wisely ruled this earth and contributed highly to the assistance and positive advancement of all colors of humanity under its gigantic tree. The essence of life runs deeply and freely through the marrow and veins. I like like the young powerful lion, wore my pride and strength like a chain around my neck. My strong black being radiated love and much self-respect. I am a descendant of the greatness of kings and queens. My consciousness boundaries run deeper than the Nile River, oceans, and the shores of the magnificent sea. Earth is my home and paradise, and everything is mine. The blood of my ancestors run through the grounds of this beautiful earth, and its heartbeat is the universal sound, medallic compositions in which in all can be found. Mother Earth is my home, and has God attended it, I roam free, not meant to be in chains or treated like a slave. I'm a figment of the mind of the Creator. My essence and soul is to made to be equal to or even greater.
Thank you for that. When I'm hearing that, I feel like it really embodies the majesty that we are.
Yes, and that's one thing that we as humanity or humans, we take that for granted every day. How majestic and how divinely out of all the species that there's a lot, but we as humanity stand above all.
Mm.
And so when you don't treat people accordingly, it not only hurt the advancement of the species, it hurts everybody as a whole. And and it's like a missing piece that's really out of the picture, or
Mm.
the picture's not magnified as much as it should be because of the infighting and bickering among ourselves that I find ridiculous because
Oh, yeah, I agreed. I agree.
it, it, it doesn't prove anything. I mean, what does it? I mean, history already show that it doesn't gain nothing by bickering and going to war against yourself.
Yes, please. LaLa for president. You're absolutely right. No, you're right. And I believe every spark of life is divine, from a king to a pauper. I mean,
Yeah,
it all matters. We're all when
it
it
all
rains.
matters in the big scheme of humanity.
Yes, again, we're tapestry. We all need each other. We need to get
And and
along.
and
Yes.
what I found amazing about humans that we lack, that I look at, the simple things under our feet, like the ants and the other creatures that is under our feet, that how they work together for the betterment of the colony. Now, I see
Mm.
how ants work. They have a line, they bump it into each other, they got stuff in their mouth, they pull it, three or four is put a weight more than itself, they work together, they all for the mission. They not stopping and saying, hey, you bump into me, you see I got this thing. No, they, you boop, 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 they moving all for the betterment of the colony, and no matter how much you bring to the table, it's all counted equally and distributed equally.
That's awesome. I'm really
And
glad you said
that's
that.
just lessons from the looking at an anthill. If you look at an anthill or ant mold and how to and put a piece of Heather, put a piece of bread or a crumb in front of it, they're going to be on it. They're going to break it up. Each of them take their place, but it's all they're not going to their. Oh, I'm going to my own place. They all go back to the colony.
Mm.
Human,
Oh,
why can't and we're supposed to be, supreme,
we're
ooh,
supposed to be above it all as human beings
and
with
but we're
consciousness.
not above it all. That's the
Yeah.
thing. When you look at the things under your feet,
Mm. It
you'd
seems
be
they have it
amazed.
all figured out, and we are so complex that the more intelligent we get, the more complicated it becomes,
Yeah,
right?
it becomes to live together.
Mm.
Really? Like,
I, thank you. Thank you. Yeah, you've got it, man. You've got it figured out.
really?
Do you have another poem you'd like to share with us?
Oh, sure. Now I like um something sweet because
Hmm.
uh, identification.
Okay.
Identification is, how everything, how God looks at us, and we're, despite everything, we're identified as human beings. Every living entity, whether they have a soul or not, has identification. So, we as humans, we don't really take those things, that the simple things, and realize that no, it's always got to be something bigger, which
Hmm.
doesn't matter into the scheme of life. The tangibles that doesn't matter, that we could see is going to disappear, but yet we focus on that
We
instead of,
are not present enough to see that the little things, the simple pleasures, is what
or
makes
or
the
what makes
bigger.
life better, or what
Yeah,
makes life.
I see what you're saying. All right, I'm gonna mute so you can read. I like that.
Identification. Every day we are given a chance to renew our physical being and spiritual essence. As the journey into self awareness begins, its powerful blessings manifest itself closer to our ultimate goal, to be included in the scheme of the whole, to magnify the beauty that is installed in life, to take our consciousness to the destined divine and heavenly heights, to become one and following the blueprint that makes all living entities precious, beautiful, unique, empowered with their own identification in God's plan and sight.
Thank you. Again, I think you captured um, not only our majesty, but the how much that is what truly matters. That our identity is what matters.
Heather, everything has a purpose. The rain, everything has a purpose for the better. Everything happens for the benefit of us.
Mm. Everything has
Everything
a purpose. Yeah.
everything has a purpose, but the purpose is for humanity. Everything is done when the ants do what they do. Somehow it works in the evolution towards the advancement. of life, which we are the highest symbol of life.
We are all a circle, but it's a chain, really.
Yeah.
Yeah, the rain makes the wheat grow, and the wheat
Yeah,
sustains us.
yeah. So the a lot of people have to realize, and I use that as an example of rain, which means despite the rain, the sun don't be like, well, Larry, I'm going to take a break because in fact, I'm going to Florida because it's going to be raining up here. I catch you later. No, despite the rain and the clouds, the sun's still shining.
Yeah, yeah,
It's,
it's still there. It's still there, but
still shining.
sometimes,
It's still shining, glowing, and you just can't see it because physically, our physical eye is not made to see through clouds. Now, the spiritual eye, you would say, the sun is still there.
right, some things we can't see, and for everything there is a season, so to say, right? So the sun is always there, but right
Yeah.
now is the time for it to rain because rain
Yes.
has its purpose.
And
Yes.
the rain has its purpose. And the sun doesn't the sun doesn't say, hey, that's not fair. The sun
Mm,
be like, the sun knows its purpose and be like, okay, it's for the rain. Okay, but I'm still shine. You just don't see it. I'm still gonna do my job. I'm still gonna be radiant. I'm still gonna be me. But right now the clouds gotta come and take the stage.
oh, that's
Rain.
awesome. The sun doesn't dim itself. It doesn't
Oh, it
change,
doesn't dim
but
itself.
it allows for other players to come along. And I think that's a really good metaphor for ourselves.
Yep.
To never dim our light. But
And that's it.
sometimes
You
we
can
are
never.
this, go on.
But we, as you were saying, we should never dim our light. But the fact is, when we don't take the lessons, the basic simplicity of lessons, and and realize that despite all this, the sun is there to serve us. The clouds and the rain is there to serve the earth, which in return, serve us.
Mm,
So when you see the clouds, you don't get mad and be like, "Whoa!" You
mm.
gotta
Well,
realize, like, yeah, because in the long run, it's going to provide things that we need.
the clouds provide shelter from the sun because otherwise everything would get scorched. It's a dance. It's orchestrated
And
divinely. It's
and that
perfect.
is everything is orchestrated and synchronized and
Yes.
and has a heartbeat. But
Mm,
the big, but the universal heartbeat is the one big, like they got the big clock that runs the whole world or whatever, the big computer. Now in the universal, in the divine, in the celestial alignment of life itself is one big heartbeat.
mm.
Everything is within the body of that alignment, which it 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 goes on to, and you cannot see the big heartbeat. You cannot
Sort of
see.
like if you think about a watch or a clock and how
Yes,
complicated that's put
yes,
together, and it's so hard to comprehend just looking at
yes.
the time. But if you stepped back and thought of the mechanics it took to make that accurate, it really is a miracle and it's beautiful. And I
And so
love that
that
you are
means
somebody
that,
who can appreciate that.
yeah, and that means that we're a miracle in the scheme of things, because the world would still move around if nobody was in it.
Hmm.
The world would still function as it was made to function. What makes it so exciting is, quote, humans. Uh,
The major actors in the play, us
yeah,
humans.
yeah. So, you
That
know,
have so much to learn, that are so complicated, that are so
and it's really not complicated. It's really not complicated. That's the point. We make it complicated because we want to feel, we want to use our intelligence, but we don't use our intelligence.
Well, and also too, it's important to remember that, each of us are on our own journey, and we're all students here in this life school. And I
That's
think
it.
that's why the complication, why the complexity is because we are coexisting with each other, and we're all so unique, but also majestic. No, it is. But no, you know what? I can tell you are somebody who gets it. You've got peace in your heart, and it is bewildering. Why do we not just love, so
Well, that's the whole point. That's it takes more energy. It takes more energy. If the sun was really worried about the clouds, you know how much energy it would take to burn the clouds so he could shine 24/7, 365 days a year? Literally?
no, no, we all need rest.
So the fact is that we are simplistic
Mm.
even in our thinking is simplistic, but no, we gotta make it interesting by by,
We have to
by
complex it up. Yeah.
yeah, we gotta complex it up by self-hatred, by hating a person that looks that in the same dimension that looks like you but a different color. Now, if everybody was the same color, we would hate that. Like,
Mm.
so
Or
why
no, I just think we would find something else to hate. I feel like,
that's the whole point. Like that we will find something.
mhm.
We it's bad enough that we're not perfect, and
Right.
we got to deal with that. Then we got to deal with us not us not embra- embracing our imperfections and
Yep, you
trying
got
to
it.
find part of that. And then when that doesn't work, we got to take it out on the next person, which is self hatred. So
Mm.
you hate the next person, you actually hate yourself. Like how can you hate
Oh,
how can you hate somebody? How can you hate another person and love yourself? It doesn't work. You can't
that's
be,
really
you can't,
interesting.
you can't love, you can't say I love humanity, but hate a piece of humanity. Like really, like
Mm.
I don't, because if you cut, that's like you cut your nose off to spite your face, and you know
Mm.
damn well you need your nose. Like,
You know damn
but
well
I,
you need
but
your
I hate
nose.
my nose. I hate my nose, so I'm gonna cut it off. It offends me,
Yeah.
but you need it.
Yeah, well, as we're all needed. I like this is really interesting. I feel like this is definitely an episode I'm gonna watch over and over again because you think very deeply about the things that are important. And it's occupying because it's nothing that you will ever fit in a thumbnail or a thimble. And but I love the fact
I
that
I realize I realized when Lisa said, and I check out your YouTube podcast and your conversations. I just want to let you know, as an artist, with and thinking, beyond this, where this is only temporary. Everything that you see around you here on earth is only temporary. What really matters is the things that you can't see, and how you take your conscious
mm,
and and your visions when you're sleeping or you're thinking, you're unconscious. And our job is to make sure that we build the bridge between unconscious, which is the communication to the higher power that made us, and to the universal alignment and celestial alignment that we unconsciously have a key to. But
mm,
no, if you're always in the conscious, you're not going to really get it.
mm.
You're not going to get the full picture when you look at the Mona Lisa.
Uh, uh,
And you can say, why? Why is that so beautiful? Why is that so highly reverent? Because of the simplicity of the beauty
mm.
of normal. She's not definitely one of the most beautiful women that you know.
Would you
And
say
not on picture, but he court. If you look at the Mona Lisa, he court the natural essence of her.
Mm,
The beauty radiates, her true beauty is more beautiful than the picture itself.
mm, okay. Would you say that maybe sometimes people get caught up too much in thinking, overthinking art
Yes.
and everything when really maybe the answer is to feel like what is this, how does this make you feel, and then examine, well, why, where does that come from, like
Well,
what is
when
it.
you look in the when you look in the mirror, how you art yourself. The mirror is only a reflection of
Mm.
the mirror is only a reflection of the art that you see when you go to an art museum. So when you look in the mirror and at yourself, you actually seeing a masterpiece in front of
Oh,
you.
that's really
One
beautiful.
of the greatest masterpieces that's captured at that moment. Self-reflection
Oh.
brings self-reflection brings out the simplistic inner beauty that we all, or the underlining of all beauty that is made.
Because
Everything
no matter what it is, whether you're looking at yourself and you're young and vibrant and you have all your hair and all your hair color, that's a different story than if you're old and wise, and that's also very beautiful. Or
and this. So we are the definition of beauty. We lit, as
hmm.
you said before, earlier in the show, you don't let beauty dictate you, because if you do, you're gonna fail every time.
You said that. You
You're
said
gonna
that.
find
You define
faults.
beauty.
You're gonna find faults.
Right.
You define beauty. You don't let beauty define you.
Mm, absolutely.
We're all beautiful.
That's very well said. And it's about time that we take that perception and put it in our own hands instead of the media and Hollywood and the society telling us what is.
Yeah.
That's right. I would high five you so hard right now if I could.
And that's true, because if you let the media, or you let somebody else dictate what's and who's beautiful, a lot of people will be here on this earth. I can tell you that.
Right. Well,
Which,
yeah.
which is happening, because if society or the powers that be said that's not beautiful, then evidently, what we gonna do with it?
Well,
You're gonna treat it less than, and
mm.
have no regard for it. And that's what you see now out here in the world, with the world dictating who's beautiful, who's not. We're all beautiful. We're all equal or greater than the things that surround us.
So I think what we need to do is pause and reflect on who is it that we give that power to say what is beautiful and what isn't. Perhaps
Yes.
that power belongs to us and it's time to reclaim
Yes.
it. Yeah.
Yes.
That's
Yeah, that's it.
you see?
And that's what it's all about. So Heather, I know you're beautiful. So I know when you look in the mirror, you already see that. But like, we're all humans, and we have days where we don't feel beautiful, but we still, the essence of ourselves. This ain't gonna change.
Hey,
Now
Levon,
you
Lala,
walk
do you
around with a smile, and the way that you are, that's beautiful. Now you ever see beautiful women with a frown and with a bad attitude, it makes everything about them not beautiful. Like, really, like, embrace your beauty, embrace the simplicity of your life, because those are things that you're going to be judged of when everything is taken away from you of
Mm.
major concern here on earth. You just going to be left in your beauty.
Wait,
Oh,
I need to weigh in on this. First of all, thank you. That's really sweet. Second of all, I'm cracking up inside. Lala, I gotta tell you, honey, I don't wake up like this. In fact, I'm gonna tell you, I feel most, wait, I feel,
really?
yes, believe me. You know
Really?
what? I love you. Stop it. Stop it. Let me tell you something. I feel most beautiful when I don't have makeup on, when I'm in my purest state, because you know why?
That's the purest. That's when you're the beautiful, most beautiful.
But you know, it's
Because
beyond
you're not
that.
dressed. You're actually embracing the way that God made you
Hmm.
beautiful. You're not trying to, man always trying to reinvent the wheel.
Hmm. But you know what? But you say I'm beautiful,
Reinvent,
but
you
that's
can't
your
reinvent beauty. Beauty, you cannot, no matter how much man try to do, you cannot reinvent, you cannot stop time. You
hmm,
cannot stop the masturbation of beauty. You know, the older you get, the more beautiful you are.
I agree. I think there
You're
is
most
beauty in that.
powerful at the infant stage.
Mm.
That's beauty at like a seed at the infant stage. When you come out of your mommy's womb, you're the most you're the most beautiful baby there is. There's nothing that can compare to my baby. My baby is so beautiful. That's the words of every parent. I got a beautiful baby.
I was not beautiful. I tried to come out. I tried to come out but first. I was breached. So, but that's the way I approach life.
You think butt says beautiful, I guess that you were
My
beautiful.
my butt. Yeah, sure. That's another topic. But anyway, but listen, again, art and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. What you might find beautiful, someone else might find average or off-putting.
But we're all beautiful.
We are all beautiful.
Nobody. Look, somebody. There's somebody that's gonna look at your picture and say you're the
Mhm.
most beautiful picture in the world. You may feel, oh, not beautiful, but then you're gonna have somebody come into your life that say you are.
But
You and validate those things that you refuse to accept. So it's just you might, and I keep telling humanity, accept the beauty that you are, because once you do that, it ain't gonna be no bickering, no wars, no race is superior. The color doesn't. You ain't gonna see color. You're gonna see the beauty.
well, with self-love, you'll exude love. And also, I just want to make a point to say this. With art, we all see different things. I think when it comes to human beauty, it goes beyond skin color and
Yes,
bone
it
structure
does.
and
It
the
does.
way you wear your skin. I think, when I look in the mirror without makeup, and I don't look like this. I see generations. I see my
Yeah.
mother's nose and my father's eyes, and that's the part of me that I love, that's untouched. And I think see, that's another layer of art. Some people will look at something at face value and they'll say, oh, it's beautiful. But once you realize, or once you gain an appreciation for the labor that went
Yep.
into creating it, to the
Yes.
brushstrokes and the late nights and the
Yes.
paints you had to acquire, like that the story behind everything is beautiful, and we all have a story, and therefore, ergo, we are beautiful. And like you said in your first poem, we are majestic, and like I said, every spark of life is divine. The fact that we are walking, talking, breathing, that of all beings that can be on this earth, we ended up here. Come
And
on.
we're over. You everything we take our presence for granted, knowing that there's things that is under our feet. Now,
Mm.
God sits high, but he looks low. We're under, God is over everything. So we're under God's feet, just like the ants. So technically,
Mm.
all life is precious. All life is precious, even the lowest. And there cannot be nothing lower than the insects or the bugs or whatever
Or
you
I
can
think
call
I think
under our feet.
microbes, like germs, are totally invisible, right? Like you've got the coronavirus, let's say, but like I see it as a food chain. Like animals are hunted by us, but who hunts us? It's the viruses. It's like
Yeah,
nobody
everything.
escapes the
Yeah,
chain.
because everybody lives off everyone. Life is dictated from us. We don't, life don't dictate us. We dictate life. So everything wants to be a part of or have a piece of humanity.
Mm.
Even humanity wants a piece of humanity, but we don't have to do that. All we got to do, as you said before, sit back and enjoy who and what we are, and go beyond the mere sight. And
Yes.
you be too busy fighting with your neighbor or fighting with the next man if you really get into yourself, get into who and what you are. And once you crack that nut, that shell, it's a wrap. You have a better appreciation of life and why you go through things. So
Well, it
uh
comes from like, and not to interrupt you, but you know what? Before I lose my thought, I guess it does come from being able to empathize and see behind the curtain because you may look at like your neighbor, let's say, or
yes,
anybody, say something, you take it at face value, right?
yes,
And it's very one dimension to you. Maybe it irritates you, maybe you find it pleasurable or whatever. But
yes.
when you stop and you look at the complexities within, you start to realize we're all complex. Everybody has a story. And then you begin to really see everybody as you see yourself. And if you have self-love, you will
Then
have
you
love
got
to
love for everything.
that. See, man, we need to take this on the
You got
road.
if you
Like
got
this
self
is good.
love,
This
then
is good.
you got love for everything, and everything serves its purpose, and you see that. You would see the ant hill and how the ant, and you would instead of saying, "Oh, I hate ants," and step on it and disrupt their world and give them a bad day, and be like, "Those damn humans." You would look at it and majestically and be like, they're all like, "Ooh."
You look at it and we see ourselves in the ants. I
Yeah,
completely
yeah.
understand that. And then
And that's the whole point. That's the whole point. So when you have to, when you find your peace and your self-love and you see your picture, and
mm,
and you could go and change it all you want, but you cannot change the essence of the picture. You can't. You can
you
add
know what?
this,
Yes, you
you can
got
add
it.
this, you can take that, but you cannot take away from the essence of the picture.
Oh, your hair can go from brown to gray and your skin can change, it could sag and you can have a
But the
different outfit
essence,
on from day to day, but you'll always embody who you
yep,
are. Yeah, that
yep.
makes sense. That
Who you
I
are, you cannot change that. You
yeah.
can't. You can. You could. Everything else could change, but who you are here in the
Mm,
essence of your shell or
mm,
your existence or what makes your life form able to feel and the energy or the light within you or the breath in you to make it not just air, but you could
mm,
feel air. You can't see air, but you could feel it. You could put air in a jar and know that air is there,
mm.
and that air is alive. It's alive. You could borrow it, but you cannot change the essence of it.
That's interesting. It's really
Of
good. I
course
like
it is,
it.
Heather. I want to give
What?
you. I want to take you to a height of thinking where you see beyond the mere essence of things. You go inside and see that life was before God. Then some people call it evolution, some call it revolution. I call it, artist at work.
Hmm.
Artist took, and I'm not going to ask where he go. I have those conversations with me and God. I'm not going to put it on the air, but the fact is, an artist took something that was plain, ugly, and said, "Hmm, I can't change the essence, but I can make it beautiful. I can bring out the beauty in it all."
I can bring out the beauty in it all is what
Yes.
you're saying.
Yes.
And I think that's sometimes what we as artists do. We take a situation, something that maybe we're blind to, we hear it all the time, we take it for granted, and then what we do as writers or any kind of artist is we tell that story again using our own experiences and mold it with this like empathy that everyone can relate to, and it actually gives that story more power all of a sudden.
And
All of
that's
a sudden that story, it belongs to all of us.
and when you realize that we are part of the same story and we all have our own story to add on to the big story,
Hmm.
which is to the evolution of life and humanity while we're here on earth, and how you get, and we're all at the crossroads, and we all meet at the crossroads, we do. But then, it's what we do after we meet at the crossroads that matters. You know what I mean? We go to get to the crossroads, of course. How
Mm.
you get here?
Let
Not
me
by
ask you, what, I'm sorry, what is the crossroads when you say
the
we?
the the awakening. Not all people are able to be aware and awakening.
So the
Those,
crossroads
those,
is being,
those yeah. Now go
is
ahead.
it's being woke. It's waking up
Yes,
and okay,
yeah.
gotcha. Okay.
Being awoke. Now, when you awoke and you see the whole picture of why this now is much bigger than we.
Mm,
It's much. We're just a part of the picture, part of the big scheme of the masterpiece, which
mm,
is life. There's some people in an entity that doesn't like the beauty and doesn't like the essence of life and would
mm.
try to destroy life. So when you realize that, and your purpose is to either destroy life or the essence of life, or build upon the essence of life or what you have around you. And some people see it and some people don't. So, but we all come to the crossroads now. Whether you come to the crossroads and get your education, and oh, I get it. Oh yeah, well, thank you. And you go on and you don't put you don't put it to practice, or your destiny or your gifts to embottle for the full embodiment of humanity, and to spread its beauty, to magnify its beauty, because we're
Mm.
beautiful, but to magnify it to even more, above all or equal and greater to, then it's just a waste of time. And a lot of people, you know, doesn't don't get it.
Yeah, I see what you're saying. I think
Our,
that's
our, our government don't get it.
yeah.
But as they say, you could be a part of the problem or a solution, and
I
you
like
know,
that. Yes.
and right now, and I'm not gonna, from what I see and know, it's a problem. Houston, we have a problem.
Mm.
Humanity is not taking full advantage of their beauty and the majestic essence.
Mm.
What you think we're complicated, we haven't really got the complex.
Mm.
If we can't live together and come together as one humanity that God intended, it's all a waste. We're
We
not. We don't even use half of our brain, or 10%, or we use 10%. What happened to the other 90%? If you're not focused as one to come together and make that light shine brighter. This
mm.
light is going to shine. But when humanity as one comes together, that light is so ominous, brighter than the damn sun and the
W-
stars and the moon.
It goes back again to we are students in this earth school, trying to remember our own brightness. And once we
Yep,
realize that, we will get there. We will get there.
yep. And
Do
that's
you
what, and
have
that's
another poem for
of
us?
course called shine.
say say it again. What?
Shine.
Sun. Okay. Tell me a little bit about it before you begin.
It's about letting your light shine despite the dreariness of a day. Now, the day could be raining, but you may not see the sun, but you actually have a light within you that's brighter than the sun.
All right, I'm gonna mute. I'll let you take it away.
Shine. The dreariness of the day upon the majestic earth, mixed with the winds and rain, brings about a certain feeling of vulnerability. Humanity is often caught up in the darkness of their own deep, dark understanding. There is a meaningful function to everything that happens in a scheme to fully promote and validate the meaning of its true purpose. The rain represents the eternal and external cleansing of earth from impurities that's implemented in its blueprint to make renewal again. All things living benefits all living entities, and the benefits are not seen but are felt beneath the surface. The rain provides the moisture that's needed for trees, plants, and the earth's inhabitants and grounds to manifest life and to continue the cycle that's divinely ordained. Despite the clouds in the skies behind them, the sun still continues to brightly shine. So when darkness fills your world and sky, understand the meaning why, and with pride, dignity, and respect, shine, shine, and shine.
I loved that. That was very beautiful. I never thought of rain as cleansing. I always think of it as life-giving, but I love how you
You
painted
look
that.
when you
Like
go
it's
in the shower, you let the water rain on you, your earth, and what does it do? It cleanses all the impurities, but no matter how much you do, you can't take too much. If it rains too much, all the impurities of the earth, it works
Mm.
against it. So
But
when you go
also,
to the
yeah.
shower and rinse your body, you're actually doing what the rain does to the earth.
I mean,
But
it makes sense, but it's one of those things that you take for granted because it happens
yeah,
every
the
day.
little things that you take for granted.
And look at you, being an artist and taking something. This is what I said just moments ago, how we have something that we take for granted. It's an everyday thing. We don't even think about it, but an artist
As an
sculpts it.
artist, it's our job to bring out those things that and make people see the simple beauty around them.
Exactly.
The
Hey,
beauty in all things, even the rain.
even the
Like really,
rain.
like I'll never look at the rain again ever again.
Or
The
I'll
same.
never take a shower without thinking of myself as earth. So I like that.
The
Um,
kind, yeah. So that's you do that. That I serve my purpose. Thank you, God.
I really, really appreciate you sharing that with me. Are you ready for some questions just to get to know you as a
Sure. I mean, yes, sure.
this is this and don't get me wrong. I love the poets I have on my show. I love their poetry and I love poetry to my core. But what I love is asking questions. I want to know you. I want to know the other layers. So we didn't prep. I didn't give you these questions, but I'm going to ask you some of these questions, kind of put you on the spot and see what comes out. What
Mm,
just happens, okay?
mm.
So, yeah. So, tell me something you love and why.
I love fishing. I love fishing because you're actually going on faith. You don't know what you're gonna
Oh,
catch. You don't know if you're gonna catch anything. And fishing, if you follow Jesus, these guys were fishing and they was like, we can't catch anything. And Jesus did what he did, and the fish came to the net. Like so, you actually every time I go out there and I don't catch nothing, I say, please God, just let me get a bite, and you actually put in, your faith into something unforeseen that you don't know how the fishes is going to act. If they're going to jump on the hook, they could do everything except for jump on the hook. They could jump around your hook, they could,
Mm.
and you can see them. But the fact is, you have faith. You put faith into when those fishes say, "Okay, I'm gonna sacrifice myself." So, yeah. So,
Oh, that's
ah,
no, that's a beautiful way to think. I don't think enough people really think about that part. The fish, it is a sacrifice for the
it
fish.
is a
And
sacrifice
that's
for
why
the
you should
fish.
be grateful for, yeah, the food we eat and the animals,
And that's why I love fishing because it brings peace.
mhm.
You're looking out at the water, and that despite it may be rough sailors, but the water represents another part of life within us. The rage,
Mm.
the rage could be a fire or it could be raging water. But if we don't see the beauty of that and reel that in, it could get uncontrollable, as you know, and destroy everything, destroy life. So if we don't control our rage, like the sea doesn't control their rage, then the sea you could wake up in a a lot of water. Trust me.
Well, water is powerful. We have it within us. Water gives
That's
life, but it
that's
also takes life. Yeah.
that's the whole thing. So when we get to a boiling point, it erupts.
Mhm. When we get to a boiling point. All right, listen. Tell me someone who inspires you.
I, I would say, you try to, you know, you try to go to the most highest inspiration, or I would say, even though I mean, I have met him, but even though I never met him, I would say, I would say that God inspires me to be to the point where if He's the ultimate creator
Mm.
and He created everything and He's the ultimate artist, you know, as an artist, I would like him to say, "Hey, I admire your poetry, Larry."
That's really
Yeah,
cool. He inspires you, but how awesome would it be for him to say, "Hey, great job with that gift I gave you."
yeah,
I can
yeah,
see you really
and
putting it to use. Yeah.
and that's what and when we had that gift, we want to be using like. Let me give you an example. It's like you taking kung fu and martial arts. Now, if you're really into your art, you
Mm.
could become better than a master.
Oh, absolutely. I
Or
mean,
equal to the master that
every
taught you
master was a student, correct?
something.
So,
Yeah.
yeah.
So I'm just saying that if God is the ultimate artist,
Hmm.
and I'm talking about artistry and
Hmm.
all arts, and if you get into yourself and you have that bridge between the conscious and the unconscious, there's no limit to your greatness.
Hmm. I like that. You're limitless.
You're limitless.
You're
We,
majestic.
we are
You're
we are limited. You know what keeps us limited is the body. Now, once you master
yes.
mind over body, you don't have no limits. You everything works through the spiritual. Your spirit doesn't have no limits. Your spirit is free. Your spirit is an entity and a light and that you can't see, but
Hmm.
you can feel it.
Yeah. I like that.
Aha.
There you go, making me think again. I like that. I like it.
Ah.
All right, listen. Okay, tell me about your hometown. Where are you from?
I'm from Philadelphia. I'm from Philadelphia, Pennsylvania.
So
I live.
say I'm not familiar with it. I want you
You're
to
not
tell
familiar
me.
with Pennsylvania, with Philadelphia?
No, I'm saying pretend I'm not. Pretend I'm new to the United States. I want you to tell me about your hometown and give me one place that you would take me to go see.
I would take you. I would definitely take you to now Philadelphia is diverse communities,
Hmm.
and it has a lot of diversity. Now, I would take you to the art museum because the art museum is a place where you can meet a lot of different people,
Hmm.
from ethnicities, antitheses, races, because every race loves art, and that's a melting point there.
It's the great uniter.
Yes, art
Ah.
is a great uniter. Haha. I worked at the art museum,
Oh,
and
wow, you did?
as a gallery guard, the kind of guy that don't touch the picture, standing there like a part of the artwork, you know.
Yeah.
But yeah,
As
I
you're part of
enjoyed
the
it.
artwork. I
Yeah,
like that.
look, you go into the room and you see the Picassos and all that, but then you see me standing next to him like, hey, is that part of the art? No, but
Yes.
uh, but the fact is, what I liked about it was that when people, I look at the art because I'm an artist, and I respond to it. When people look at it, I'm able to talk to them, and we could connect, over the Mona Lisa or a Picasso, and see the simplicity
Hmm.
of the art. Basic the basic brushing strokes, the different abstracts, and the way the paints. You know, and you look at it like, really, like 6 million, but it's not the value. It's not the monetary value. It's the beauty. It's the simplistic beauty that
Hmm.
if you see with your third eye, you will see the rage, the everything that makes life into that photo, into
Hmm.
that painting.
You'd see the spectrum and you'd appreciate everything that went into it.
Yeah,
Yes.
yeah. With that word that you
Mm.
said, yeah, that shit's just
I like
like,
that.
yes.
LaLa, what's next for you? Do you have another book coming out?
What's next? Look, I got enough poetry to come out with a dozen books or more, and maybe I will. Maybe I will. What I aspire to be one of the, if not one of the greatest poets in the same conversation has the great poets that graced this earth before me that left a blueprint, and
Mm.
say, despite everything, it may get hard, but continue to do you.
Mm.
It will be seen. It will be heard. So I aspire to become a well-known, successful poet and writer. Now I got 4 books out on, 4 books that Lisa Tomey helped me, and she's been a blessing. I
This is
published
amazing. Yeah. And I'm
uh,
going to put
one.
the podcast episode that you were on in the show notes so people can see you on that podcast as well.
I hope that you can show my good side, because
All
the,
your site, you
the,
got nothing but good sites.
the
I
beautiful
love it.
side, the one that make them say, "Is that artwork?"
That's right. Exactly. I love it.
So
Um,
I'll be coming out with a collaboration called Heartbeats. I mean, Silver Linings.
hmm.
Is a looking at life through a poet's eyes, two different views on some of the same subjects, but everybody has their own view. Nobody has the. It's very views can be similar, but it's still what makes us different is that everything is not uh, the same. We don't look at life the same. We may agree on a lot of things, but our general how outlook on life may be totally different. But that what makes us and what makes life beautiful.
Well, variety is a spice, is it not?
Yeah, variety is
Yeah.
the spice. So, and I'm coming out with my 5th book. I'm only coming out with 5 books, so the rest of the poetry will be archived. We put it in one of those things, put it in a jar, and bury it for the next generation to find and say, oh, okay, down the line, maybe
It's
on Mars.
eternal. Where
Yeah,
where
maybe
where so much
on,
is temporary.
yeah,
Your
maybe
art
on Mars something we
lasts.
can bury it, and then they find it, a couple of years later, and then be like, okay, this is how humanity, a record of humanity. So
Ah, an archive.
yeah,
Yes. Yeah.
and as artists, we are the mirrors of self-reflection for humanity.
I like that. Before we go, first of all, I know a lot is happening for you, and your fifth book is really impressive. I hope that you never get too famous that you won't come back on this show. You'll remember the little guy, right?
What the? Of course, of course. Well, I
You
don't
you
think
you you'd come back and chat with me again,
I
won't
don't
you?
think I'm gonna. I don't think I'm ever gonna be that type of fame, because fame, if not shared, if fame not shared properly with all equally with those that supported you, then it's not really fame. It's not really enjoyable. It's not. So if I get to the point where I'm successful and my voice is heard, of course, I want you to be with me, of course, and enjoy the fame and that and bring attention to what you're doing, because like I said, you provide, a fresh, outlook on things, and you're a deep thinker, and so people need to know about you. So all my wonderful friends, I will introduce you to the world. So
I would
so
love that.
and so, because you're all beautiful in your own way, and we need more beauty in the world than what we see now. And man is practicing, destruction and division, and we if United States or the world happened, the humanity ship happened to hit the rocks or iceberg like the Titanic, we're all going down. It ain't where I'm going to go. Go to a spaceship and go to Mars? What? Into the
Mm.
space station, son? I'm going down with the ship of humanity. When humanity go down, I'm on the ship with them. Trust me.
So I can look forward to having you on as a guest again, perhaps when your new book comes out and we can chat
Yeah,
about
yeah,
it.
yeah. With the fifth book,
Yeah.
like I said, we got a collaboration. But the fifth book, by the time I come back on the show, it'll be two more, maybe three more books. Like I said, it all depends. But right now, I just want to focus on writing plays and short stories,
Mm.
and the plays is just simple conversation, one-on-one conversation like this, that on topics from a variety of different people, not just from people of Black people, but how I come into contact with all types of people, and just a basic human conversation that you don't see, real conversation, not scripted conversation.
Yeah.
It's easy for for a screenwriter to script something to come out of words, but
Mm.
it's harder to capture the true conversation between two different diverse people, and
Mhm.
put that rawness on paper. Ha
Aha. I love
Look,
it.
Heather, I'm not trying to reinvent the wheel. I'm not
I
really.
know, I know. I will say that it's been a real pleasure. I feel really energized and jazzed up because this talk of beauty and majesty and seeing your light, I love it. And I really do enjoy having you on here. And I'm gonna put your links in the show notes and I'm gonna close it out. But before we go, all right, this is another favorite segment of mine. I want you to recommend a song to me for when I edit and I'm doing my boring
Okay.
stuff. What can I what captures you? Give me a song.
What captured me is Sam Cooke. A change is going to come,
I
and
love it.
whether we want it to. Life changes, life evolves around. Life is going to change around us, whether we're in it or not. So I'd
Mm.
rather be a part of the change than not a part of the change.
Oh, I love
So,
that.
Sam Cooke,
You are
I
not only
think
just a
moving
part
on.
of it. Say again?
Yes. Now, yeah, you can either be a part of the change or you can sit and fight the change
Mm.
where, and if every now humans is humanity like is really sometimes it makes me just like, am I a part of this? But uh we always change it. We are, nothing's if you look back at yesterday, you did something today that was different than yesterday. So something changed.
That's right.
2 days
Yeah.
is not the same.
So the
It's
only
no,
thing constant is change. The only thing that we can rely on. So
it's change because if
that's
we
right.
didn't rely on change, we wouldn't be here.
That's right. You speak the truth, my
We
friend.
would be. We'd be in worse. We'd be in dire straits, which we haven't got to the point of dire straits yet, but it is worse. But
Mm.
I, as an artist, I can see that we at the crossroads have an opportunity, has one humanity to change the trajectory of which we are, which means that less bickering, more love,
Mm.
less fighting, more hugs, less frowns, more smiles, a simple touch, a simple gesture, break down the code, use your gifts to break down the walls of despair and prejudice and racism and bring that and accept the diversity that which is humanity.
Accept the diversity, which is
The
humanity.
ants do it. Why can't we?
I like that a lot. The ants do it. Come on, we've got a lot to learn from
We got a lot to learn from
the things at our feet,
the things
right?
that beneath our feet.
That's right. I like
We can
that.
learn a
Hey,
lot.
listen, it was a pleasure having you, and I look forward to talking with you again. You're the man. Thank you. You're so awesome. I love your energy. I love your energy. I
Well,
think you're
thank
just
you. Well,
beautiful.
you got me up past 10 o'clock, so
I'm
I gotta be in the job for this.
You know what? You've been a real trooper, and I really appreciate you waiting for
But
me to get
I'm
on.
glad that you got me on finally. It was something that I look forward to, and
Aw,
you
thank you.
you helping me to become, in your own little way, is, and I must say special way, special, beautiful, unique way. You're helping me reach my goals of becoming a well-known, successful poet and writer. If not the best, to be even in the same conversation as some of the best. I'm happy with that.
Mm.
Give me an honorable mention. You know what I mean? Say he's a sit-in for what if whether greatest it can't show up. Give me let him say we got a guy to cover it. You know what I mean?
No, 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 no. I listen, you talk about change and going with the change or resisting change. And I just know in my heart you're one of those artists who are going to lead the change. And you have to keep writing and keep showing us the way to love.
And I got that from Langston Hughes, which was one of my favorite
Mm.
poets, and Sonia Sanchez, if you know her, she was a part of that Harlem Renaissance also, and
Mm.
she teaches right now. She teaches in Temple University, but she came to Overbrook when I was, in my freshman year, ninth or 10th grade, and I, and they called me in to say, Larry, because they knew I love poetry, and she just
Oh,
happened to come to the school, and not to get off subject, but they called me in and said, here's Sonia Sanchez. She was famous, but she wasn't as famous as she is now. World, she was starting to get out there, and
yeah,
she was
yeah.
making a tour, and they realized like we have a guy here that's very much into poetry. So they called me in. I met her, and I was in awe, like, because I didn't really realize I was a poet or anything. And she said,
Aw.
what she said was, Larry, stand tall in your blackness. And, you know,
Oh, that's
which
really
which
beautiful.
means to me, stand tall in your essence. So you have to stand tall. You stand tall in your beauty and your essence. Okay, I would tell you that. Stay strong and beautiful. Continue to do what you do because you're the mother of this platform. You given birth. Well, you gave birth to this. But right now, like all babies, I'm the baby from the other mother, but yet I come to you and you burping me with this platform where I'm growing and I could take from it the necessities and say okay and go on to the next level. So thank you for this platform because like I said, it was a blessing and never take never take what you do you know for granted because it's a beautiful thing that you have here and that you gave birth to, and it's just going to get bigger and bigger. So, I'm just letting you know, we're going to be into this fight to bring out the beauty of humanity, and whether it kills us or not. So,
Yeah, yeah, and sometimes it tries to, but we rise above. Listen, that really touches me. Thank you, because you never know when you set out to do something and people are willing to give you their time and grace you with their talents and their gifts. It is
I'm sure when you started this platform, you it was just a thought from the unconscious, and you woke up. I mean, you was always woke, but your body, after being renewed, and you went through the emotions and ran the tape through your head and saw it to fruition and maturation to this point. You said, I got an idea, and you put it to
mm,
work, and what amazes you is the type of people you've met since you open your platform
yeah,
and you dream. It was a dream, and look at how far you took it and how far it came from the time of a little thought in your sleep, whether you tossed or turned it or if it became.
yeah.
But look at
Well,
how
I'll
far
tell you,
it
actually, to be honest with you, sometimes you do have that spark of divine, but other times things evolve. Just as when you sit down to write. Now, I actually never set out to do this when I started this YouTube channel.
went.
I'm an artist, I'm a writer, and I started it to um recite my own poetry and put it out there. And then somehow, some way, it was the will of this channel to bring other poets on. Let's get more of this. There's more than just you. And that's what makes it beautiful is the diversity and the different
And
voices
it
and
grows
people like you.
it
Yeah.
grows it's not you realize that it's not all about you.
Yeah,
You realize
exactly.
it's about the scheme, and it works. You got a win-win situation.
I'm a gear in that
It's a win-win
complicated clock.
situation no matter how you slice it.
That's right. Hey, listen, I adore you. I can't wait to have you on again.
Well,
You
you'll see me in North Carolina, so
Oh,
you know.
awesome. That's right. Lisa and I will take you out to lunch. You come down here.
Yeah, I mean, I'm on a health kick, so it can't be no fried chicken again.
Oh, oh, wow. Well, how do you not have fried chicken and sweet
I
tea
mean,
in
I
your
can have fried chicken, but not as much as I used to. So I'm eating healthier and adopting a healthier lifestyle.
Good for you. So the three of us will hit the salad bar. Anyway, I look forward to that day. I'm gonna let you
I mean,
go.
eat y'all to some fried chickens. Y'all can have and watch y'all eat it. Dress
Oh,
it.
so you want to live through us while we sit across from you eating fried chicken. I'm a vegetarian, so I'm gonna have a salad.
There goes that thought.
But that's okay. I'm going to put extra ranch dressing and just eat it in front of you. Listen,
Oh, okay. Well, like I said, it's a blessing continue to stay strong and beautiful as you are. And it was an honor to be on your platform. It was an honor to share two minds, two unique minds get together. You inspire me, and and continue to be yourself, and your beauty shines. So I guess
LaLa, stand tall, my friend. Thank you. You have a wonderful night.
thank you.
Good night.
All right, thank you.